Hello and welcome. I am Sam of the Nerds at the Square Table, and I am playing. Well, you can see there on the top of the screen. You are playing the Stanley Parable. Okay, so those of you who don't know, Stanley Parable is a game that's recently been released on Steam. I have been deliberately skipping most of the spoilers and stuff online, so I'm not entirely sure of the contents because I played through the demo and I found it was pretty fucking hilarious, so I kind of wanted to play this myself without seeing anything. So, here we go. Begin the game. Now, there's going to be a lot of narration, so good lucky for you, I'm going to be shutting up for a lot of it. Is never the end, is never the end, is never the loading. Okay. Yeah, so as far as I'm aware, this was originally a mod made for the Source engine. That's what I know anyway, just from the overview. Um, it's quite a strange game. It's a lot of narrative, and I'm not entirely sure this is loading properly. Oh wait, no, yes, yes, come on. It's the first time playing the game and first time loading it up, so I think it's just loading everything up with DirectX and all that. Just a few hiccups. Come on, I'm bored. And there we go.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, so yeah, I'm using an Xbox controller, trying to get used to the controls here. Don't seem to do anything other than move. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I kept on going to talk there, but I wasn't sure when the guy was going to stop talking, and I wasn't really sure when, so yeah. Okay, I'm assuming I'm meant to just follow the narrative.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm being Stanley.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
See, I keep on getting interrupted. Yeah, and being Stanley, I assume I know exactly where the meeting room is. So, through the open door, I guess. Yeah, since I don't seem to be able to actually open any doors, seems like a pretty safe guess. Okay. It's still early enough.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. So I enter the door on my left. I don't think I'm going to enter the door on my left. Or should I? I'm not sure. It's kind of like the movie Stranger Than Fiction, which his entire life is being narrated. Yeah, I'll go to the door to the right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I mean, I get the idea I'm meant to be role-playing as Stanley, but I find that very confusing, while also listening to a narrative of Stanley's life.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Come in. Nope.
Yes,
Nope.
really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
You gonna stop being a dick, narrator?
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Clearly not. You can. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna stay. Fuck you, narrator. I was about to call him Stanley. What's the narrator's name?
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Yeah.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room. He took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Yeah, no. It looks dark down there.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Well, I'm not following directions. I'm following this voice that's following me. Not sure I should be following it. Are you meant to listen to voices in your head? I don't think it's a good idea to listen to voices in your head.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
I was curious. Oh, God. Okay. I think... Oh, I'm just starting right from the start. Okay. Oh, joy.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Yeah.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
The controls seem a little off. It's kind of weird. Oh, well.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yeah, okay. It's like that. I don't think I should have clicked on that wall. Weird. Oh, well. The voice guy seems... I know his voice. I'm not sure where. Yeah.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Oh, it's up there. Okay. How to solve dispute with a coworker. Oh, I should using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Huh. Yeah, I'm not going to read through these. They're usually pretty boring. To do. Synergize core value expenditures. Shift global market paradigm, I'm assuming. Monetize free-to-play. Yeah, monetize free-to-play, then don't charge me €10 to play the game. Yeah. Hire someone to synergize papers are too synergized. Fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper synergizing guy who moved my debt. So people like buzzwords in this office, which implies it's an office that doesn't actually do anything. Sweet. A door that actually opened. I'm gonna live in here.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
I'm gonna wait to see if he says anything else.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Is it the same narrator for The Bard's Tale?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. Ooh. Is it a button? No, it's just an emergency light.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
I'm scared. Ah, good, I get to give out about this. What the hell? 1, 2,
Stanley
B4.
began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Ugh. I'm
This
glad.
is the story
Ah.
of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what is not. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Bit more than a moment. I wish I could talk more. I'm so used to talking a lot. Oh, is that it? Okay, can I go tell someone about that car? Because that car's really annoying me.
Stanley had never seen the office this
Shut
quiet
up!
yet. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
Okay. Yeah, the lights are on. That car's gonna die. I don't particularly like that. I really feel like I should tell someone. Like, I know it's a game, but it's bugging me.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
I'll go down the right. See what happens if I go up that lift.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. What but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Oh, yeah. I'll take that one later on. I want to check the elevator.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Penalty for misuse of cargo lift, $1,000. Penalty for jumping off cargo lift, $5,000. That's a good thing I died that time.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
This breaks so many health and safety violations, codes. Breaks violations. Yeah, it's a lot of health and safety violations. It's ridiculous.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Who's she? Okay.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Why is this a power cord? Phones have phone cords. They do not have power cords. Okay. Also, why was that in dollars if this is an English plug or Irish plug? Socket. Socket! I said socket. Damn. Okay. Ah. Damn you, Sean. Making me get confused between plugs and sockets.
Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Ah.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Oh, there we go. Can move again.
Sorry,
Oh,
but
come
you're in
on.
that story now.
No. Yeah. God, this is creepy.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
K A X Y.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
I can crouch. Just figured out how to crouch.
Look at him there,
Ah.
pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
No, I want to. Orby.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
LB crouches. It does not watch television.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth.
I want to go.
The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
That's really fucking depressing. Okay.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
I love his voice. Go to
I'm
sleep.
trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Oh, fuck you, I'm pressing the button.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
LB do question nothing.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I
What? Okay. Apparently I wasn't meant to press a button. Or was I meant to press a button? I think so. Okay. This is a really weird game. Actually stranger than the demo, which is odd.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yes. I'm not sure if these earlier decisions are changing what's going to happen this time. I mean, if I do the exact same actions, will the same outcome occur?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
I'll check them.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Okay, when I'm talking, you do not talk. I want to talk? Okay. I'll try to check that other door to the left down here.
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Yes, I did.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section,
Ooh, button.
walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Button. Okay. Or loading.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Okay.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Okay.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
The headlights are on this. This is even worse. The battery is gonna die, and then someone has to jump start it. Oh wait, is this a generator? It's a generator here. That's not a big deal then, okay? Yeah, okay, I'm okay. Let's go.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay.
Not sure how.
Who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time,
Okay.
suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Okay, apparently employee 104 was fired. From this top.
All of his co-workers were gone. What did that mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
How many choices do I have left? I'm not sure.
Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago.
You wrote
I'm
this.
sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Oh, shit, there's too many choices. I don't like this. I'm checking if these rooms match. Go in this one. Okay. Yes, they do. Oh god. Oh, lights are changing down here.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
No, no! I was just looking down there. I didn't see that. Oh, okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
To the meeting room. Yes. Memo. Yes. Of course.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Okay. Back the way. Back the way. Okay, no. It'd be really nice if we could open doors.
I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. Oh, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Yay!
Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations.
Fuck you, narrator.
Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.